that people associated with Sinn Féin were most insulting to ordinary people who attended a Fine Gael party meeting in Limerick on Monday night. Now, Taoiseach, what you said yesterday was absolutely untrue. Sinn Féin was not involved in that protest in Limerick. Our council group leader, Maurice Quinlivan, has made that clear. I presume you knew this, or you could have checked it out before you came in here to throw that allegation, which was carried by some of the media, and which is clearly part of an effort by you to demonise the anti-water charges campaign, and particularly Sinn Féin. And the reality is, Taoiseach, that thousands of reasonable people have protested very, very peacefully and will continue to do so until your water charges are abolished. And people aren't going to fold up their placards just because Enda Kenny wants them to do so. And I'm looking forward to a huge turnout on December the 10th. And we have always been very, very clear about protests and demonstrations, particularly in the wake of some unsavoury incidents around the anti-water charges demonstration. We've said, I and others, that it should be very peaceful, family-friendly and respectful. And the Right to Water campaign, which Sinn Féin supports, is a broad-based movement of ordinary citizens, most of whom have never been active at all. And they're expressing themselves through peaceful protest, and Taoiseach, you should be encouraging this. So will you now withdraw your inaccurate and untrue allegation against Sinn Féin, which you made in the Dáil yesterday?
Taoiseach.
First of all, there always seems to be a sort of a problem about the associates of the Sinn Féin party. Now, I was in Clare and Limerick the other day. I don't think that you were down there yourself. I'm not actually blind. I saw the posters myself. Now, your representative, Mr. Quinlivan, says that no Sinn Féin person used abusive language towards ordinary citizens leaving a party political meeting. It was absolutely disgraceful. And if that's the kind of association that you have with a broad-based protest group, then you, as the president of your party, should be saying to the associates of your party that you don't ever want to hear that kind of language again towards ordinary people, particularly women who went to a political meeting and were walking out in the ordinary way as ordinary citizens. I'd remind you also, Deputy Adams, that I've said on many occasions it is perfectly in order for people in this country to democratically and legitimately express their concerns through protest, otherwise in a peaceful way. What has been witnessed in that case didn't worry me, but was certainly a very abusive, Deputy Adams, towards women in particular. The language was simply appalling. And if you are saying that you have a broad-based group and that these people are associated with a broad-based group, there were members of your party down there in Limerick and in Clare, and they were using abusive language. You weren't there. I was. I heard it. Now, I'd remind you as well that the government listened very carefully to the people who expressed their concerns legitimately and peacefully and democratically on the streets. And the government answered those queries about clarity, about affordability, about fairness and about certainty. And that's why there would be no increase in water contributions until 2019. And beyond that, the Minister of the Day will by law hold the authority to continue to cap water charges so that they be affordable for people. They are affordable for people now. For a single person, the charge is €1.15 per week. For two people, 2 adults or more than 2 adults, the charge is €3 per week. I had letters from a school in Monaghan yesterday, a primary school, where young children said, big people do not know how to save water. These water meters are very good. It will mean there will be less money spent on wasting water, and they have a far better view of it than Sinn Féin appear to have. So the issues of mandatory PPS numbers, the issues of bonus culture, the issues of public ownership, the issues of what happens after 2019 have all been answered very clearly and very fairly, and government did listen. And they also listened to the kind of abusive language I heard in Limerick and in Clare. And if you are associated with that, then you should ask those people who are broadly based working with your party to withdraw those remarks against women in particular, Deputy Adams, against women in particular. Abusive, filthy language, the likes of which I've rarely heard before.
Thank you.
And if they're your associates, well, then you can keep them.
Sorry, this is Deputy Adams' question. There's no need for the chorus from Fianna Fáil, thanks very much. Deputy Adams.
Yesterday, Concordia, I came in here and asked the Taoiseach a very straight question. I asked him whether he thought it was acceptable that the CEO of Irish Water also owns shares in a company which is set to make millions from Irish water contracts. And I asked the Taoiseach, was that acceptable? And of course he didn't answer that question. I also asked him about the massive overrun for the installation of water meters, and he didn't answer that question either. But he made these spurious and untruthful remarks, which he's repeated again today. And his answer, I think, shows a lack of a sense of grace. When you're told by me and when you're told by the leader of our group in Limerick that Sinn Féin were not involved in that protest, you should accept that. Big people don't know how to govern, Taoiseach. The children in Monaghan could tell you that
will answer.
also. Now you say that you're listening.
Sorry, stay quiet, please. Stay quiet, I said. Deputy Butler, stay quiet. And you stay quiet, please. Deputy Adams, thank you. Deputy Adams, would you stay quiet? Deputy Adams, thank you.
Now you say that you're listening to people. You're not listening to people.
To answer for himself.
You don't listen to the opposition in here. You don't listen to people on the streets. And you were forced into a partial U-turn on this issue. So that shows people that people power is actually working. You did have an opportunity to get rid of water charges, and people know that. So they're not fooled. You didn't do it. And people are scandalised by the continuous waste of public money by Irish Water. They spend, I just discovered...
Sorry, put your question.
Okay, Yanni Mason. They spend nearly $1 million every month on advisors. You talked about clarity. Well, where's the clarity about this? How much is Arvia spending on media advisors, Taoiseach? How much is Irish Water paying? And instead of muddying the waters with these untruthful allegations, tell me why these costs are concealed from the public. Why can't the public know what's been paid to advisors, and particularly media advisors? Thank you.
Well, there was another spotlight programme last night indicating that your party is off the Richter scale in terms of the way you deal with your expenses. You come in here and you make charges. Now, you asked this question yesterday. Mr. McNicholas spoke on national radio yesterday morning and clarified the position insofar as his being a shareholder in NTR was concerned, and dealt with all of that. The second point that you mentioned was about the difference between the estimate and the formal tender. And you know a lot about building yourself. And the point is, you can ask somebody to send in an estimate of what this might cost, but when a formal tender comes in, it's obviously more accurate because it's a more detailed assessment. And that's the position insofar as the water meters are concerned. You should go and talk to the children who wrote to me. Now, you say that we're told by you that we have to believe everything here. Well, of course, you did say go and pay your water charges, you support water charges, then you don't support water charges. You've changed your tune on a number of occasions. Now, the people to your left on the political spectrum seem to be getting at you, because you've abandoned ship on terms of your wealth tax. You're now back to putting an 8% increase in income tax on every taxpayer in the country. And the people of this country should know that in supporting the populism of your party, that what they're being asked to do is to have their income tax increased substantially from 30,000 right up through those whom you deem to be wealthy, from 30, 40, 50,000. Middle Ireland, hard-pressed, Sinn Féin, going to increase your income tax. That's what you want to do, because you told us already that you submitted your budget, which was exceptionally well costed, with a 500 million black hole in it, that you expect the workers of Ireland to pay for by increased income taxes. So I don't believe the things that you tell me in here. And I don't believe what you told me about Clare and Limerick. And if your people are associated in a, as you put it, in a broad support group by the members who were down there the other night, well then I would ask you to make your statement to Mr Quinlivan and everybody else. The kind of language used by people associated with your party was absolutely appalling, an affront to women in particular.
Sorry, Taoiseach,
absolutely an affront to women in particular, and you should make a statement asking every Sinn Féin member to cease association with that broad support group that you refer to.
Deputy Wallace, thank you.